Hi, I'm Adam from Watford Opinions, and that match against Wycombe was pretty straightforward, and obviously the main talking point has to be Andre Gray. We all know the stuff that Andre Gray has been involved with since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. He's breached lockdown rules not once but twice, and his form has been nothing short of atrocious. So obviously, whenever he's gotten on the pitch and has underperformed, as he has many times this season, he's been the blunt of harsh criticism. The club then came out and did a video with him, in which that even got some backlash. But Gray, he got his start today because Pedro was suspended from getting double yellowed against Bournemouth. And Gray, he showed for himself. There's no other way to put it. A lot of people, and I can't say I'm not included, have been saying that Gray is well past it and that Gray does not deserve much, if any, minutes. But today he proved us wrong, and I am very glad he has. It's something that Gray should really use as a head of steam to build some momentum, as with Cleverly potentially injured for a decent amount of time, Watford might not be able to keep doing the 4-3-3 sustainably with three central midfielders. Hopefully they're able to, but if they do have to switch to a 4-4-2, Gray and Pedro will likely be the two starting up with each other. And with Gray getting these 2 goals, he's probably solidified his spot ahead of Peretza, even if that is unfair to Peretza, and Peretza hasn't looked bad. But Gray with a brace, that's going to definitely move his place up in the pecking order. Now, I don't think Gray is going to start over Pedro once Pedro is back. Maybe he will, but Gray definitely did well today. He got his 2 goals, helped Watford with the win, and I mean, there were 2 strikers' goals. Again, neither goal was an absolute worldie or anything. It's not like anything was the best strike you've ever seen, but he had to be there, right place at the right time, and smartly finished both. Both are chances that earlier in the season you would say, well, maybe he'll have missed those. So Femenia did very well on the first goal to set him up. Gray slotted it home well from around 6 yards out. The second goal, Gray was Zinkernagel, first off, just to talk about Philip Zinkernagel. His full league debut, and he played very well. He wasn't in his most natural wide position. He was deployed in a midfield position. But from there, he played really well, created some good chances, definitely justified his inclusion in the starting 11. And the assist he had to Andre Gray was absolutely sublime. Attracted around 3 or 4 defenders, then slipped Gray through. But then you have to look at Gray there as well, and he did really well to position himself the way he did between the defenders. He did really well to ensure that the passing lane Zinkernagel had, and the only way the Zinkernagel could pass it would be right into his path. Gray finished it with tremendous composure, the second goal, as well as he did with the first, and Watford won. So again, Andre Gray, it's like there's been a lot of criticism for him, and much of it has been deserved, to be honest, but he's battled back at the criticism by letting his football do the talking, and that's how footballers should always do it, because people are always going to say stuff, especially behind a screen. People are always going to critique. People are always going to have words to say. But if you're going to silence the critiques by, showing up on match day and letting the football prove them wrong, then so be it. Please do. So it's great for Andre Gray to be back to goal-scoring ways, and he's let his football do the talking, and full credit to him for doing that. The pressure, he could have let the pressure get to him, but he didn't. So very fair play to him, and big congratulations on the 2 goals. Hopefully this helps give him a head of steam. As we all know, Gray, he gets into the good positions well, and it's just about composure and clinicality once there. But he was today, so full credit to him for proving the people criticizing his inclusion in the starting 11 wrong. So fair play to him. And overall, the performance, yes, it was against Wycombe, so we were expected to win. Anything other than a win would have been nothing short of, well, maybe catastrophic is a big term, but anything short of a win against Wycombe would definitely have been a terrible result for Watford. But the job got done. Again, it wasn't the hardest of matches. It was pretty straightforward. Watford dominated most of the play. Not to say Wycombe didn't create a couple of problems from a couple of set pieces. Nearly equalized on the start of the second half, if it weren't for but Watford were saved by the linesman's flag. But Watford deserved the win. It wasn't anything too complicated, as it shouldn't have been against the bottom of the table side. But But yeah, the main takeaways for me has to be the resurgence of Andre Gray, and hopefully this can help him build a head of steam. I mean, even in the past few substitute matches and appearances he's made, he's looked lively. He's done what he's needed to do, and today that came off with some goals. So hopefully he can keep that form up and start to cause some real serious competition for Pedro, who himself is in fine form. So, and also Philip Zinkernagel. Again, the midfield isn't his most natural position. He can play on the attacking midfield as he did today, but his most natural position is on the wings. But even from the midfield, he was very good. He was very talented and created Wycombe's defense some issues. He just has to get more used to it. And like we saw today, the best way to give him adjustment and let him adjust to English football is by playing him. Keeping him on the bench isn't going to do that. So a huge boost for Watford in the sense that Zinkernagel was able to get a full 90 under his belt. Hopefully, Cleverley's injury is not too serious. It was very good to see him walk off on his own weight. And yeah, that's it for this match. Thank you, and stay safe.